Hi, I'm DeQuincy, and we're going to be watching an extrication drill. This is the direct lift of an adult who is passive, non-spinal, submerged in water that is 3.5 foot deep. The water is moving because it's in a catch pool of a water slide. We're going to have 3 rescuers for this drill. What I would like to do is I want to watch the drill and then come back and do a breakdown for the benefit of those new lifeguard instructors and in-service trainers. Here we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at what works and what doesn't work. Quick recap, we have an adult victim. There's 3 rescuers. The victim's going to be passive, non-spinal, submerged in 3.5 foot of water with moving water from a water slide. They're in a catch pool. We have 3 rescuers here. One is in the chair for the station, and there are 2 other guards that will be responding that have been positioned as if they were in a real rotation. Okay? Victim submerges, we see, looks good, and boom. This is the reason why I stopped and made these rescuers repeat it. So watch again. The rescuer is jumping over the victim. Again, I don't encourage this type of activity. We want to prioritize the rescuer safety and the victim's safety. So we don't want to jump on the victim. This is why I initially said this is a no-go and they had to repeat the drill. Okay? So, let's see what happens again the second time around. Okay? Alright. Alright, victim's going to submerge, and let's see it again. Alright. First rescuer jumps in, great. Not jumping over the victim. Not good there. If you see, he's straddling over the victim. Okay? So, again, he's not jumping on the victim, but we don't want to climb over or straddle the victim. Even though the maneuver is very slick on how he just immediately rolls the person and uses his momentum. We still don't want to encourage that type of activity where they're straddling or climbing on top of the victim. Okay, we see the other 2 rescuers getting there and assisting. We see the female rescuer, she's at the head and now becomes in charge. And if we notice, as they're moving over towards the wall, the rescuer that's at the feet is actually a little bit farther ahead. So ideally, where I would have this group go for is that if they're going to bring the victim in as a parallel position, victim parallel to the wall, I would want the victim to stay that way. I don't want the feet to lead. If any body part was going to lead, it would probably be the head slightly. Okay? Nothing that I would still say no go and repeat right now, but again, something to keep in mind. What's really nice, and you can't really see it from here, is that the female rescuer at the head, this victim has long hair. She's making sure that the hair stays out of the victim's face. It's not getting caught up in anything, so this is good. Okay? They do a direct lift here, lowering the victim onto the ground. Looks good. However, let's go back and take a look at something here. So, as the victim comes up, do you see the stiffness in the victim's arm? Is it being held by a rescuer? No. Okay? So the victim is not being truly passive, and this rescue team is not considering that if this was a passive victim, that arm would be slumping, dragging, and getting caught underneath the victim as they did this maneuver. Okay, so in an ideal world, the person at the head would be saying, hey, let's make sure that arm is not getting pinched. It would be placed on the chest or onto the stomach, or one of the rescuers would be holding on to it as they lowered the victim onto the deck. Okay? From here, what's really nice is the rescuer at the head is immediately going into a primary assessment. Do you see how the secondary rescuer, as he's getting out of the water, he's pointing to someone and saying, hey, you go call 911. Okay? In a realistic setting, or if you wanted to do a progression off this, that secondary rescuer would probably leave the scene and go call 911 himself. Okay? So from here, she's going into the primary assessment. It looks good. That secondary rescuer has grabbed a pocket mask. He's ready to give breaths. She's going to state that the victim has a pulse. They are not breathing, and there's no severe bleeding. And he's going to take over and start ventilations, which is really nice. All right, and the third rescuer is setting himself up to provide any additional care if it was compressions or anything like that. Okay, this looks good. There were some hiccups throughout this drill. However, they met the objective. They got to the victim, they got him out of the water quickly and safely, and they have provided the appropriate care. Nice work.